You're listening to Headspin by Aslan's Place, bite-sized episodes where Dr. Paul L. Cox and Jeff Stow help you understand biblical concepts that may seem confusing but can be understood with the proper foundation.
So we're talking about powers, and we've talked about the bad. We've talked about the idea of the glory of God and power coming from God, coming through the powers as a conduit. We interact with Jesus Christ. What's the good of all this, of learning about powers?
So, as I shared before, powers we believe are in charge of electromagnetic fields, and uh, we are affected by electromagnetic fields. We uh, are electromagnetic in our creation. And I was in Canada, and we were talking about these powers, and the Lord gave us a prayer, which is on our website, and I think probably will be listed in this podcast. And so we constructed this prayer, and this man had prostate cancer, and he was very concerned. And so we prayed for him, and I could feel ungodly powers tied to his prostate. And so we asked the Lord to remove those ungodly powers off of him. He went to the hospital, and they found no cancer. The prostate cancer, which they had diagnosed, was gone. Now, I want to reemphasize what I said in the last podcast, is that nothing is always. And when we talk about powers here, there is an absolute dramatic effect when we deal with powers, but that is not the only thing that's happening spiritually. That we need to be very careful that we do not say, okay, well, this is now the answer to everything that's wrong with me. It is a answer, and you can do a lot of investigation about how electromagnetic fields affect us as we live on this earth. And we know that this is true, but it is not the only thing that is going on that affects our health.
So electromagnetic fields and powers affect physical things in our bodies. Is there any emotional or mental ramifications?
Yes, we have seen this sometimes with depression, where electromagnetic fields will affect uh, depression, anxiety. That is true.
And so if someone thinks that this is something that may be tied to something they're struggling with, how would they go about rectifying that?
Well, again, we would need to discern what's going on in that particular part of the body, and then see if we feel ungodly powers, and then address that issue. And again, there may be many other issues that we'll talk about in the future that will need to be addressed in order to see what brings healing. I am learning more and more the complexity of the human body, and just doing one thing does not necessarily result in healing. Healing is a very, very complex endeavor, which involves not only the physical body, but also the soul and the spirit.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Paul.
Thanks, Jeff.
Headspin is hosted by Jeff Stow and produced by Aslan's Place Ministry. For more information on Aslan's Place, visit aslansplace.com.